Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now today's video is very exciting for me. We're going to cover some products from the brand Battleboard. Now not only Battleboard but also Right in the Rain. Battleboard and Right in the Rain have teamed up to put together packages based around the Battleboard product and lineup. Now Battleboard is a company whose products I've looked at from the past. First and foremost, I caught them on Instagram a few years back, and when I saw their products, I knew it was something that just resonated with me. And then moving forward, well, I got to go to SHOT Show where I bumped into the people at Battleboard as well as Right in the Rain. So in today's video, what we're going to look at, I have one of Battleboard's newest products here. This is their Battleboard Armband. This is going to be pretty cool. I'm actually really excited for this. It's simple stuff, but at the same time, just really, really cool. We have a few different sort of writing products here, so the ability to actually write on these things, not just the actual paper itself, but then some different pens and how this entire things go together. So what we're going to do today is like a first look and first impression of this. I'm going to go through this on my Outer Limitless channel, and then in the future I'm going to turn the corner to Outer Limitless 2, where I'm going to put this into some practical field use, not just out in the woods or out in the wilderness, but at the firing range. And so when we get back, it's the first impressions video. But with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Battleboard who did provide this for review. So again, Battleboard. Let's talk this through. First and foremost, this is like writing products, but like something you haven't quite seen. If you have not seen Battleboard, this stuff is rugged. It's made for hard use. It's really intended for, I would say, strategizing. So say, for example, it's an emergency situation or maybe even a combat situation. You cannot always rely on devices. You literally have to write things down. Sometimes you have to write them down fast. That has to last. Sometimes it's in adverse conditions, wet conditions, or even, heaven forbid, some sort of a military conflict. You need the ability to keep notes, keep track of things, and write it down so that you don't forget, or you could effectively communicate. And so that's what we have here. This is the first thing that we're going to look at. Now, Battleboard has a ton of different products. Again, I've looked at a number of their different products in the past just with intrigue. And then when I saw their gear at SHOT Show, I was like, yes, this stuff is awesome. So this is their armband. I mean, first and foremost, a very simple product. Taking a look at it here, this is gonna literally, and when I say armband, it is literally an armband. This is gonna go on your arm, likely in one of a couple of different spots, depending on what you need to do. It's gonna give you the ability to write things down, give you some notes, give you the ability to communicate. I kind of feel like an NFL quarterback right now. But this is going to be literally something that you wear on your arm to take notes real fast and kind of have some things at your fingertips. But then here, what do you actually write on? So the people at Battleboard did provide me with some different products. So here, this is the number 791 index cards. Again, remember what I said in the intro. Battleboard has really teamed up with the people at Right in the Rain to create systems. That's the cool thing you see here. So not just the armband or their other products, but here, the Right in the Rain, this is the, again, number 791 index cards. So as we kind of get into these here, these index cards are very straightforward. You can see they're kind of almost like graph paper in a way. They're lined, but then they also have the dashed lines. That's definitely cool. Personally, for me, as an engineer and with an engineering background, I always like graph paper. So not just having the lines, but then the horizontal and the vertical lines on here. That's awesome. And then on the back side, very simple, plain. So you could use both sides of these, no problem. And all Right in the Rain products are very durable. That's the first thing. So no matter what writing utensils you use on their paper, good quality stock, nicely made, and I do use Right in the Rain products all the time. If you've seen any engineer's field book or surveyor's field book, they're typically Right in the Rain. That's a lot of times what we use. So here, having those same index cards and the same sort of layout, it's just familiar to me. Now here, as we look at this, I asked for these specifically. This is pretty cool. Here we have a number of different cards that you would fill out for a number of different reasons. Now, this here is a call for fire. This gets tactical. This gets military operation. This gets so far from what I get involved with, but it's really cool. And the idea being, these literally fold in half, and when they do, you slip them in the armband, so the battleboard armband. So you have all of this information slid into this sort of weatherized armband. It's protected, it's durable, and you can get to the information when you need it. Again, imagine being in a dire situation and needing to get to this information. It's literally right here in front of you. So these cards get filled out here. Again, a call for fire. Observer ID, warning, order, size of element, like tank, target location, method of engagement, target description, method of fire, and control. So definitely something that's interesting. Now I'm going to have to do a little bit of research as to how you actually fill these out, but that's the first type of card. So next, this is a medevac request form. So the location of a pickup site, radio frequency, number of patients, special equipment required, and so on and so forth. Again, imagine being in a dire situation and needing this at your fingertips. This could go into play in so many different ways. To me, this it could go into a backpacking kit. I see that working well. It could definitely go into a firefighter, EMT, police sort of patrol kit. That would work out just well. Obviously, a military application that makes a lot of sense. There's also like urban search and rescue teams. There are so many different first responders. I could even see this working very well for somebody like DPW, Public Works, Public Services, something like that. Aircraft pilots, helicopter pilots, even captains of a boat. This type of information would always come into play, and you cannot always rely on electronics. You have to write things down, and that's where Battleboard comes into play. Now, this is the one that I'm the most excited for. I am going to definitely fill this out at the range. This is what I'm saying. This is going to turn the corner to Outer Limitless 2 in the future. This is a standard range card. I have done a little bit of research into how you fill these out. I think it's just really neat and practical. So even for me, where I'm getting into firearms, but I'm not the most tactical minded, having the training and some practical experience filling out these cards, needing to understand how to do it, it makes you think. It makes you think tactically. It makes you understand your surroundings, and you go through those exercises. So this is definitely something I'm going to fill out. So again, a standard range card. And this could go hand in hand with the medevac. This is a tactical combat casualty care. So here you can see this has a number of different items again. So everything from your evac, urgent, priority, routine, name, gender, date, time, service, allergies, mechanism of injury, artillery, landmine, burn, RPG, fall, grenade. I mean, serious stuff. And when you get into military operations, I'm sure this becomes more and more standard, and those guys would understand it better than me. But the idea being, again, all of these cards literally fold in half. They're the size of an index card, and they fit right in the armband. Definitely awesome. And so as we take a look at the actual battle board itself, so here you can see it's pretty straightforward, but at the same time, you can see there are a few little features here, and we'll go through it. So the main thing and the main part of this, it does go on your arm. So as we take a look here, you'll see a Velcro enclosure. This is going to help you sort of size it specifically to your arm, and depending on what your needs are. Now, you might be wearing clothes, you might have like a sweatshirt or a long sleeve, or a jacket or something along those lines, depending on what you're doing, what activity, and this could certainly fit a number of different scenarios. So in that regard, you can see it is very adjustable, which is nice. Premium materials, everything about battle board, extremely nicely made. The bulk of the material on here is a 500 denier Cordura fabric. This also leverages sort of like abrasion resistant polycarbonate, laser cut, and what they're calling a 500D squadron. I'm not entirely sure exactly what that means, but anyway, that is another one of the materials. And then the Velcro and elastic. So you can see here, nice Velcro, nice elastic. Extremely well made. That's the thing that caught my attention initially with Battleboard. Between the functionality, but the materials and the overall just general construction, very nice. Now this one here I ordered in multicam. The multicam, unfortunately, there's not a lot of it as you look. It's sort of around the rim here, not a ton. So what you need to pay attention to is, bottom line is, if you get into this particular product being the armband, there's not a lot of showing fabric. So you could pick your colors a little bit differently in order to get a slightly different effect. In this particular case, I probably would have been better off with a slightly different color, something that had just a little more pop maybe, and that would have maybe changed it up a little bit. But at the same time, definitely cool. I love black multicam. It is my jam, and that's why I went with it. So here, as we slide this out, you can see this is part of the demonstration. And as I slide my fingers in here, you can see I'm getting on that inside sort of piece of paper. Now this is certainly thinner than the Write in the Rain index cards. These are much thicker, and I think they'll go in this just a little bit easier. But as I slide that out, now you really see that multicam. So you see there, Battleboard on the inside there. They do have their logo. Now, of course, that is going to get covered up once you put your actual piece of paper in there. So that's going to sort of cover things up. But just for the example, let's get one of these index cards and sliding that in there. It's going to be a little bit tight. So you can see that will go. This is going to be just a little bit tight to get these things to slide in here, but it will go, and not too bad. So to me, this ends up being kind of like your setup for your writing surface, and then you start to use the utensils. Now, in reality, obviously I could have already pre-filled out certain information on this card. That would be just fine. But then here, I could actually start getting into these markers. Now, they do offer these on their website. These are nothing that you can't find in other places. I believe they're considered to be like grease pens, grease pencils, and whatnot. And so here, for example, in the color red, as we pop that out, you can see this does allow you to write literally right on the front here. So this is test. T-E-S-T. So you can see writing on there pretty well. I don't really know the intent for how you're supposed to get that back in. But you can see here, I did unthread that and just sort of pop that back into place. Let's try here. This is the black. So again, so you kind of thread that down. You basically push on that, at least from what it looks like to me. Let's see. Yeah. So you kind of thread this down. And there you go. There you go. Test. And to get this back in, looks like you back that off. And that pushes in. And the blue. Again, twisting that a little bit. There you have it. So, and finally again, just going to back that off and pop it in. Now this here is a permanent marker. You're not going to write on your polycarbonate with the permanent marker. You're basically only going to use those grease pencils for this. So again, you're not going to use any of the other writing utensils. These are specifically for writing on the cards. So if I wanted to do that, at this point, I'm starting to gauge the use of this a little bit. For me personally, I would love if underneath this Velcro, that was a Velcro tab that allowed you to peel this whole entire top part open so I could get to these cards easier. If I was able to just peel that open, then I could just pull the card out. But instead, I kind of got to like reach in here and kind of wrestle this out a little bit. I don't know if there's another way to get the card out. This is all sewn down. So all of this is all stitched into place. Personally, for me, I would really love the ability to get this out of here so I could like write on it and leverage it. And you can see it's going to be stubborn and it's going to give me a little bit of a hard time getting it out of here. So as I try to slide this out, it will go. But then again, I'm kind of racking on it a little bit, and it was not as easy as it should be. And especially if I get to the point where I leverage these cards, these need to get folded in half. As you look here, you can see these are the same size. So this has information both on the top and on the bottom, and then potentially on the back. So I would love if these were really set up so that if I needed the map, here you go. I could see that through the clear window. I could make some marks with my grease pencil. So fill it out, get it in, make some marks, annotation, keep my notes. And if I need to flip this over, I could easily just peel the Velcro, open up this window, pull out the card, flip it around, and then I have the information at my fingertips. And that's the case for any one of these cards. Having the ability to get to all the information quickly, effectively, and really without damaging the cards, I think would be key. So in my opinion, I do like this. I just think it would be a little more functional if underneath here it had really sort of another layer of Velcro and you could peel this up and then at that point just get to the cards very quickly and easily. But again, sliding this back in just for the example. Well, before we do that, you have a couple of different writing tools here. So again, the permanent marker, working very well on the Write in the Rain. Let's see if that actually withstands smudging. So yes, you can see right there, no smudging right away. If I get it wet, no problem. So that's not going to smudge. That works very well. Now, I also received this number 97 black pen. So you can see the Write in the Rain All Weather number 97. So here, we'll take a look at this. And very cool, I actually, when I was at SHOT Show, I actually got this pen here too, which is the number 97 in Flat Dark Earth. So I do have two of these. I actually waited a long time to break this out, and I finally get to do that today. So again, this was provided by Battleboard. This one I got at SHOT Show, but both of these you can see in the model number 97, the Flat Dark Earth here. So you can see it's just a little clicky for both of these, and both having black ink. So let's get this going here. So I did have to get this started on more of a regular piece of paper. There are coatings on the Write in the Rain, but there you go. So struggling just a little bit. Let's try a fresh card here. This is definitely having a hard time, and I mean that's not anything for Battleboard. That's a Write in the Rain issue, but here we go. It's not really going, so struggling a little bit, but it should work. I have an additional pen here, so this is the number 93, in OD green. I also got this at the show. So let's take a look at this here. Little clicky. And testing this on more regular paper. No problem. And then testing it on the index card. Yeah, it's working. Just need to bear down maybe. Right in the rain, it's always a little bit, I'm not going to say difficult, but it definitely is a little bit different where it's got coatings. I find that for me, a lot of times I do go to markers more frequently. So the permanent marker here just working out much better again. No problem, that works out well. And so anyway, that is the Right in the Rain products. So again, the number 97 pen, both in black and in FDE. The 93 in OD green. That Staedtler permanent marker. And your grease pens. So definitely cool. And here we'll just get that one put back away. So both in red, blue, and black. Now continuing through, let's do a couple last things. There is a loop here to allow you to put your writing utensils. So let's just say you wanted to keep one with you. I would probably keep either black or maybe red, because as I'm annotating, I definitely want to be able to see it. And that should slide right in here. So yep, there you go. That'll slide right in there, no problem. That's cool. And that definitely works. Now to get rid of this, I should be able to erase it fairly simple. Just leveraging a little clean cloth here. And that comes off with ease. So very simple. That's going to work out well. And obviously that sort of begs the argument that you do need to be careful that some of the things that you're annotating on here, if they were to rub off, you would potentially still hopefully be okay, but at the same time, you're just trying to jot down some notes real quick to get yourself oriented, keep track of some things, and hopefully be able to pass on information. And now last but not least, again, we'll get this outfitted. Now, of course, I do have these bracelets, so I just need to kind of span over that, but at the same time, you can use these elastics to get this into place and sort of size this up. Now, inside and underneath, I might need to shrink down my bungee just a little bit. You can see for me, that's going to be about right, maybe right about here, without it being terribly tight. And that's not too bad. I would probably personally shrink this down just a little bit. I got skinny wrists, so that would work out well, which means I just need to sort of shrink down that bungee. But there you have it. So depending on what you're trying to do, this should work fairly well. And so all in all, I would definitely need to put this into practical use out in the field to see how effective it is for me. Now again, I'm just going to go back to my initial impressions. First and foremost, beautifully made, really nice. I love Battleboard's construction. I love their overall quality and attention to detail. I think they do a very nice job. As I mentioned, I've been watching their products for a long time. I've been watching them kind of grow, and then to finally see them at SHOT Show was awesome. And at this point, having their products in my hands is great. And so this armband is one of the newest products. I think for me, my real takeaway is I would just love the ability to get this panel flipped open so that I can get these cards in and out of here easily, so I can get the index cards in and out of here easily. And at that point, get the benefit of all the information you have on both sides of these cards without too much difficulty. The other thing is, again, if there was just a little tab and another row of Velcro and you could peel this up and get to that underneath, I think you'd be able to almost double up or triple up the cards. So at that point, I could have a couple of these cards folded up and in here. I could either have more information all kind of compiled together, or I could have a couple of copies of the cards. If I'm going through something that's a significant situation, I don't want to be looking for my spares. I need some spares in here. So you could have at least 2 or 3 or 4 cards in here, again, either with different types of information or spare backups that need to be filled out in the future. And then the grease pencils definitely work just fine. So the blue, the red, the black, these work just fine. Definitely very simple. but effective. The Right in the Rain pens do seem to work just fine. It's just a little hit or miss on the actual Right in the Rain index cards. This is, again, just a coated paper. It's always difficult. If you've ever used these, it's never the easiest to get like good, clean writing. You can do it. You just need really the right writing utensils. And I think the permanent marker a little bit easier. So depending on what you're trying to do, again, just something to pay attention to, but overall, definitely effective. All of the different range cards, med cards, just really cool. I'm looking forward to actually sort of filling these out in practice. That's going to be what I do on my Outer Limitless 2 channel. I'm going to get to the range. I'm going to put together a practical field card. So looking at the range card and sort of laying it out, that's going to be a fun exercise. And last but not least, just one tiny little detail here. Just a little sort of, call it button compass. This can go on a strap. I'm sure it can get mounted directly onto this somehow. At least I would think it would be able to, but maybe not. Hard to say. But it does give you the ability to navigate. That is definitely going to come into play because you do need to know your sort of north and south when you get into the range cards. So coming with the compass, it's decent. I mean, it should at least get you close enough to be able to orient your card and be reasonably accurate in what you're trying to describe. And so again, I'd like to say thank you very much to the people at Battleboard who did provide this for review. I'm looking forward to getting this into future use, and I'm also looking forward to checking out other Battleboard products. Again, they span from first response, military, police and law enforcement, emergency services, public works, you name it. This is a really cool idea. Great products, keeping you organized. And again, I'll reiterate the fact you cannot always rely on electronics. You just have to have the ability to write things down. So why not have a ruggedized package and give you the ability to do that in adverse conditions? And so if you like this content, do me a favor, take a look at my Outer Limitless 2 channel, which is more on the tactical and firearm side of things. At this point, that channel is growing quickly, so if you like what you see here on Outer Limitless, keep an eye out for my demonstration of this Battleboard armband on Outer Limitless 2. So alright guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.